Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Listener Questions on my channel, everyone. The first entry for this playlist is sent in by Usman Awan of Lahore. He asks, what are the effects of blue light on health, and what are your tips on reducing its effects, especially those who work constantly on screens? Thank you, Usman. Excellent question. Before I proceed to the answer, let me remind you and to everybody listening to please see the disclaimer at the beginning of this new playlist. Now, for the query. There are two components to this. I'll start with the first, and I'm going to answer in ascending order of complexity. In other words, the most simple and straightforward factor gets highlighted first. Number 1. Exposure to blue light causes retinal degeneration. In plain language, it causes your eyes to age prematurely. Number 2. It causes autonomic nervous system arousal. Again, in plain language, this means it causes low-grade anxiety. Let's suppose for a moment that you're having a meal while seated in front of a blue light emitting screen. A close analog to the effect the latter would have on your nervous system is if you're having a meal while sitting in the passenger seat of a car in the midst of a traffic jam. There is no physical exertion involved, nor any multitasking, but you simply won't be able to transition fully to that deep rest and digest state as you otherwise would if you're having your meal at the dining table with your family, feeling like this is where you belong. Number 3. If you're exposed to blue light during the dark hours, it disrupts your body's circadian rhythm. In the aged, diseased, or convalescing, it wreaks havoc on it altogether. In plain language, this means that it causes your body to become confused about its sleep-wake cycle. This effect alone, in my humble opinion, is sufficient to qualify blue light exposure as one of the top 5, easily one of the top 5 most significant health concerns of this day and age. With your circadian rhythm disturbed, quite literally every function of your body begins to mirror a disease state. For further elaboration, please see footnote number 1. Now for the second part of the query. First, a side note. I'm going to assume that everyone who listens to this already knows about the run-of-the-mill protective measures, such as the blue light blocking software, FLux, and blue light blocking goggles, respectively. With that said, number 1, expose your eyes to direct sunshine in as much volume as you can afford to. Volume here means both intensity and length of exposure. The greater this volume, the deeper your circadian rhythm's entrainment to the natural light-dark cycle will be. In plain words, the sunshine exposure will serve as an anchor, helping your brain resist blue light's disruptive effects on your sleep-wake cycle if you are exposed to it at night. And if you must wear sunglasses, you should get an article that has a UV protective coating but no shade whatsoever. Number 2, investigate your body's nutritional profile. If you have any frank nutritional deficiencies, absolutely correct those first. Most people instead have what are called subclinical deficiencies. These won't show up on a lab test, but should yield to the investigation of a skilled, holistic-minded clinician. I list one nutrient that reportedly much of the world's city-dwelling population has a subclinical deficiency. And of course, a nutrient which also has protective effects against the ravages of blue light that we just discussed. Usman, you can probably guess this. I hope you do. Blue light causes retinal degeneration. Well, what nutrient can help protect the retina against degeneration then? Of course, it is retinol. In plain words, please eat liver. Furthermore, blue light causes circadian rhythm disruption. What nutrient can help provide an armor against this? Again, it is retinol. Retinol is needed by the apparatus of the eye to convert light rays rather, into the neurochemicals that signal to the brain that it's daytime. Thus, the better your body's retinol status, the more powerful the entrainment of your circadian rhythm will be upon exposure to sunlight. For further elaboration of this, please see footnote number 2. And that's it for listener question number 1.